Hey guys, what's up? My name is Brian and welcome to my Guild Wars 2 channel. Today I'm going to be continuing my series where I go through every profession, picking out my favorite weapon sets, abilities, and then go through the trait lines. Today I'm going to be covering the Guardian, so let's get started. Alright guys, here is my Guardian build. I'm going to be starting off with the F1, F2, and F3 abilities. Now these are the Guardian's virtues, and they work in the exact same way as signets do. You're given a passive ability, which helps yourself, and then when you activate it, you lose that passive ability, but you support your allies with it. So let's go through it. You're given an offensive virtue, a defensive virtue, and then a healing virtue. So starting off with Virtue of Justice. You burn foes with every 5th attack, and then when you activate it, nearby allies set foes on fire with their next attacks. Next we have Virtue of Courage. Every 30 seconds you gain an Aegis that blocks the next attack. Activate, grant Aegis to nearby allies. And then finally Virtue of Resolve. Regenerate health, and then when you activate it, you remove conditions and regenerate nearby allies. So with the Guardian, you really have to make a decision. Do you want to help yourself out at the moment, or do you want to help support your team? Now let's go through the weapon sets of the Guardian that I chose. I chose the Shield and Sword, and the reason why I like this combo so much is because you're going to be up close right next to your target, and you're going to want the shield for the extra defense. So starting off with the first ability, Sword of Wrath, you chain slash your foe. Next we have Flashing Blade. This is my favorite Guardian ability. It's kind of like a charge for a Guardian. You teleport to your target, striking them and blinding nearby foes. Next we have Zealot's Defense. You block ranged attacks while throwing magical projectiles. This is going to be a very strong move. And then why I love the shield so much is because it supports your team out a lot. Shield of Judgment. You create a shield wave in front of you that damages foes and gives protection to yourself and up to 5 allies. And then finally for the shield, you get Shield of Absorption. You create a dome around you that knocks back foes and then absorbs projectiles. It is a cast. I think it's like a 1.5 second cast. And while you're casting it, it keeps building this giant like dome. And it's going to be knocking back people, and it's also going to block projectiles too. So it's going to be very strong. You can use it offensively, defensively, and it's definitely going to help out the Guardian a lot. And then switching over to the Scepter and Focus. This is my second weapon sets that I decided to pick. The reason why is because Orb of Wrath was just doing so much damage in the beta. I was seeing it hit for like 2Ks, and that's just your one ability which you can spam. So that's going to be really powerful. Next we have Smite. You strike foes in an area repeatedly, more strikes when traded. Now I think this is going to be really good because it's an AoE, and I think it's also going to stack with Virtue of Justice, so every 5th attack is going to cause burning. So if that does happen, you're going to be burning a lot of people, and you're going to be burning them way faster. Next we have Chains of Light, and it's your immobilization, so this is just going to be even more strong, even better, because you can activate Chain of Light and then maybe switch over to your sword, or do something in that respect. And then going into Focus, you have Ray of Judgment. You pass a ray over foes and allies. Foes are damaged and blinded, and allies gain regeneration and lose 1 condition. So this is definitely good for supporting your team out. And then finally, Shield of Wrath. If you didn't think you had, enough defense, you create a shield to block the next several attacks. If the shield is not destroyed, it explodes, damaging nearby foes. Let's go through the Guardian's healing, utility, and elite skills. Starting with the healing skill, I decided to pick up Shelter, which blocks attacks while healing. This is going to be very powerful because it kind of gives you a grace period to heal. So if you're at 100 health and you need to get that heal off, this is definitely going to do the job for you. So it's basically just more protection and more defense, and it's going to just make the Guardian that much more harder to kill. Now, the utility skills I based around offense, because you're not really given a lot of offensive abilities as a Guardian. You're given some offensive abilities, but mainly supportive abilities. So I decided to pick up a lot of utility skills that are going to get the job done if I need to kill a guy. So let's start with the first one. I picked up Bane Signet, which grants you might, and then when I activate it, it knocks down and damages your foe. So that's going to be really strong. Now the next two are spirit weapons, and the reason why I picked both of these is because in the trait line I basically give these two moves a really strong boost. So starting with Hammer of Wisdom, you summon an arcane hammer to defend you, and then you can command it, which basically it gives it a move, and you command your Hammer of Wisdom to knock down your target foe. So that's going to be really strong, so you can probably chain knockdowns and stuff like that. It also, when I trade it, it's going to cause burning, and you'll see when you get to the trait line why this is going to become really powerful. Next, I picked up Shield of the Avenger, which summons an arcane shield to defend you. And now the translation of this is a little off, but you command a shield to basically hit multiple foes. Now this is going to be good because in my trait line, all spirit weapons cause burning. And if you see the cooldown right there, it says 5 seconds. I don't know if that's still true or not, but 5-second cooldown, and you can basically keep chaining burns onto your multiple foes if you want. So it's going to be good for PvE and PvP, so that's why I like it so much. If it doesn't end up doing a lot of damage, you could switch to, say, the bow or the sword, so you have 2 other spirit weapons to choose from. And then finally, the elite skill is just really strong. It's called Sanctuary. You form a protective shelter that prevents foes and projectiles from entering. So this is just really strong, guys. You're going to be able to put this on a point and capture a node. Now, I was joking around with one of my friends that was showing me this. I was thinking, because I'm playing Elementalist and he's going to be playing a Guardian, he's going to pop the Sanctuary in, say, the middle of Clock Tower, and I'm going to go into my Elementalist Tornado and just spin and knock everybody off the node. So it's just going to be really fun and really strong using that combination. So let's go on to the trait. I decided to pick up 30 in Zeal. Going through the 5, 15, and 25 abilities, you get Zealot Speed. You create a symbol of swiftness when health dips below 25% health, 30-second cooldown. Symbolic Exposure. Your symbols apply vulnerability to enemies. And then Symbolic Power. Your symbols do extra damage. Then going into the 10, 20, and 30 abilities, I decided to pick up my trait lines to help me out and to make my spirit weapons do more damage. So spirit weapons do 10% more damage. Your spirit weapons is not destroyed when commanded. And then you deal 10% more damage against burning foes. And this is definitely going to come in handy later once I get to Radiance. Now I decided to pick up 20 in Radiance, going through the 5 and 15 abilities. Justice is blind. Activating Justice blinds nearby foes. And then Renewed Justice. Your Justice virtue is renewed when you kill an enemy. Going through the 10 and 20 abilities, 15% increased critical chance with one-handed weapons, sword, mace, and scepter, and you are using the sword and scepter, so you automatically have an increased 15%, or you automatically have 15% more crit. And then finally, a fire inside. Your spirit weapons cause burning. So if I have 2 spirit weapons out and they're causing burning to everybody, I'm also going to be doing 10% more damage, so that's definitely going to help me out a lot. And then finally, I picked up 20 in Virtues. Going through the 5 and 15, Inspired Virtues. Your Virtues now also apply the following boons, which they are not listed. And then Virtues of Retribution. You now gain Retaliation when you activate a Virtue. Then the 10 and 20, Improve Spirit Weapon Deterioration. Your spirit weapons last twice as long. And then finally, Elite Focus. Your elite skills last longer. So that's going to be really powerful with the elite skills Sanctuary and all the Tome elite skills that you get. Thank you guys for watching. That was my Guardian pre-build. Please check my channel for the Mesmer and the Ranger pre-builds. My next profession I'm going to be covering is the Elementalist, and I'm hopefully going to get that done this weekend. So thank you guys for commenting, subscribing. I think I'm up to like 16 subscribers, which is a lot for me. I'm over like 4,000 videos views, which is just crazy. So thank you guys so much. Keep on doing what you're doing, and I'll talk to you guys later.